today we will talk about the relationship between Japan and China. According to Japan Poll, 79% Chinese people hold negative attitudes to Japanese people. 79%, the majority of Chinese, we may ask why. In this view, our group thinks the main reasons can broadly divide into two sides. One side is historical conflict, and other side is territorial disputes. And then we also investigate the diplomatic relations. First, I want to tell something about Macedonian incident. On September 18, 1961, Japan invaded China in Macedon. After Macedon incidents, Japan continued to down the main towns of Liaoning, Jilin, and Heilongjiang. Gradually, the Jinzhou and Harbin were lost. Outcome: the Macedon incidents brought huge losses to China, and the Macedon incidents is the beginning of Japan comprehensive invade China. Look at this picture about Macedon incidents. Next, I want to introduce Nanjing Massacre. Nanjing Massacre took place over 6 weeks, starting December 13, 1931. According to research, there are about over 300,000 people were killed in Nanjing Massacre. Let us do these crimes. First, massacre contest. The rules of contest is that if you were the first person to kill 100 people, you would win. At the beginning, he had killed 78 people, while he had killed 89 people. After they got to the Jin Mountain, he had killed 105 people, and he had killed 106 people. However, because they didn't know who was the first person to kill 100 people, they started again contest with the aim of being 150 kills. Next, rape. According to research, there were about 20,000 women were raped in Nanjing Massacre. The Japan troops forced the family to incest. The sons were forced to rape their mothers, and the fathers were forced to rape their daughters. In addition to these crimes, Japan troops also killed all people who had been captured. It's my turn to say our main idea too. Japanese right-wings are unwilling to face up to history and never really apologize to China sincerely for their action. Japanese Ministry of Education revised the primary and secondary schools history textbook that downplay and whitewash the history of Japan's invention in Second World War. Look at this picture. This is the teach the kids the correct history, and under that is use the new history textbook. This is the new history textbook. Next picture. And this is the spokesman rejected the text for the new history textbook. And besides, the Japanese populace also condemned its action. The next picture. And my supporting evidence too is the Japanese Prime Minister's visit to Yakusuni Warsaw. This is the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe visit the Yakusuni Warsaw on Thursday. That honors the Japan's war debt, including 14 criminals. It's seen by the Asian neighbors as a symbol of the nation's military rule. And this is the picture's Abe's speech. Abe suggests in his speech that Japan should be proud of its history and encourage its whitewashing of its Asia. The next picture. And this is in G20 summit meeting. This is the Chinese chairman Xi Jinping meets Abe. And Xi Jinping criticized Abe about 5 minutes.
Territorial dispute is another reason why Chinese people don't like Japanese people. On September 2010, a Chinese fishing boat was collided with two Japanese Coast Guard patrol boats near Diaoyu Islands. Following the collision, the Japanese fishing boat, the Japanese Coast Guard boarded the boat and arrested its crew and captain. Following the incident, anti-Japanese protests were held in many cities, and Chinese people tour visiting to Japan were recorded. The Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao turned down the request to meet his counterpart. This event marked a low point in foreign relations for Japan. Diaoyu Islands is part of China, which can be demonstrated by history. The Diaoyu Islands were found and named by China and have long been under jurisdiction since Ming Dynasty. In 1895, Japan defeated Qing Court and forced Qing Court to sign the unequal Treaty of Shimonoseki, ceding Japan the islands of Taiwan together with the islands belonging to it, include Diaoyu Islands. In 1941, China declared war against Japan and abrogation of war on equal treaties between China and Japan. In 1945, the Cairo Declaration stated in terms that the territories Japan has stolen from China should return for them. In 1945, Japan accepted the Cairo Declaration. In 1981, the United States and a number of cities signed a treaty of peace with Japan, with China excluded. The treaty placed the namesake islands to Japan. The namesake islands include Ryukyu Islands, but not include Diaoyu Islands. But in 1971, the United States and Japan signed another agreement that the Diaoyu Islands should be reversed to Japan. The relationship between two countries are still important despite the historical conflicts and territorial disputes. 1970s. In 1970s, the two leaders of the two countries talk about the Sino-Japanese relations. They reached an important understanding and consensus of talking about the Diaoyu Islands problem in the future. In 1972, Japanese Prime Minister visited in China, and the Premier of China, Zhou Enlai, agreed to, and his counterpart agreed to talk about the Diaoyu Islands problem in the future. In 1978, the Vice Prime of China, Deng Xiaoping, visited in Japan, and the two sides all agreed to talk about Diaoyu Islands in the future. Next is a diplomatic establishment between China and Japan.
After China and America had been built diplomatic relations, the Japan Prime Minister Peng Zhongjiao interviewed China and met Mao Zedong in 1932. It was a historical handshake. After a friendly conversation, the Mao gave Peng a book, and Japan and China kept a health and good friend relationships after the conversation. Next, in the 35 years after the building diplomatic ties between Japan and China. The Prime Minister Wen Jiabao interviewed Japan in 2007. The interview reduced the gap between Japan and China. On the one hand, it's good for developing the relationship between Japan and China. On the other hand, it brought the win-win interest for two countries. It also called as melting. The non-governmental contacts between Japan and China are more and more frequent. And the private relationship between Japanese and Chinese is good. According to a report released by Japanese students, there are about 135 foreign students in Japan, and Chinese students up to 18,000, about 16% of all. At the same time, many good Chinese students were named international education consultants. This is the pictures the Chinese students in Japan. And this pictures is talk about the 窦德胜. And during in 2009, we visited Japan, and the Japanese Prime Minister Zhou Zhanyou visited him and present him the Fuji image. Next picture. Okay, our activity is talk about the relationship between China and Japan, and the relationship between China and Japan will be better disputes the historical conflicts and territorial disputes. And we believe Chinese people and Japanese people will get along with each other better and better. Thank you for listening.